All right, so whenever I was in high school, like I said, I excelled above average, I guess you would say, and the competition where I came from wasn't very competitive. So coming to college straight out of high school and starting on the weekends, it was a big reality check for me because I thought I was just really good and like nobody could touch me or whatever. But whenever I came to college, like that changed real quick. I learned that you gotta do more than just throw fastballs by everybody because everybody throws just as hard as me. So you really gotta start spotting up and you gotta throw your off-speed pitches for strikes and you gotta keep them off balance. And I think that was the biggest change coming from high school to college. All right, so I guess the positives would be you get to do a lot of stuff that regular students don't get to do. Like you get to come out here and you get to play in front of a bunch of fans and you get to play the sport that you've always played growing up, and not very many people have the opportunity to do that. And I guess the negatives would be you kind of get looked at differently, so you have to watch what you do off the field. Unlike regular students, they can do whatever they want, not have to worry about any consequences. A lot more is expected out of you between workouts and school and coming to practice every day and being on time and trying to stay out of punishment and making the whole team have punishment. So, I guess the advice that I would have for high school athletes coming to play college is you have to work hard because everyone is just as good as you, and the only thing that's going to make you stand out is it's just going to be a little bit of you working a little bit harder than them. And the more you work, the better you're going to do. So I would say just to not think that no one can touch you or you're the best out there, because once you get to college, everyone's just as good as you. And it's going to be hard for you to compete at this level coming from high school whenever everyone's just as good as you at this level. So I would just say keep working hard and make sure you do more than you think you can. So my background is ever since I've grown up, I played baseball. My mom coached me when I played t-ball. And then as I got older, my dad started coaching me. And then as I got older, probably to 12 and 14, I started playing travel ball with some guys from Lake Charles. And I was homeschooled until 8th grade. So the only reason I went to school was to play baseball. And once I got to high school, I excelled. Ever since my freshman year, I started varsity. It was usually me and my brother, who's 2 years older than me. And whenever he'd pitch, I would play shortstop. Whenever I'd pitch, he'd play shortstop. So it was really cool being able to play with him. But whenever he graduated, is whenever I really feel like I started to stand out. My junior year and going into my senior year, and that's whenever I started getting talked to by a bunch of colleges and stuff. And whenever I made my decision to come here, like I don't regret one thing about it. Like I could have went to LSU, I could have went to all the big schools or whatever. But there's something about Coach Robe that really just stood out to me, and I really wanted to come play for him.
Hi, I'm Sydney Davis. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm the current libero for the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. I grew up playing a ton of sports like soccer, softball, basketball, volleyball, obviously, because my brother was super into them. He played football at Dartmouth, and so when we were younger, we were always kind of playing different things. I went to elementary school at St. Thomas More in Baton Rouge. Then I grew up, and in high school I played for St. Joseph's Academy, which is an all-girls school. I played club at a club called Volleyball Baton Rouge, and actually 3 of the girls that I played with, we all went and played in the Sun Belt Conference together. 2 of them actually went here, and 1 of them actually ended up at Texas State. But it was honestly like a really good experience for me. I grew up with a ton of girls on the team, and a lot of them also went on to play college volleyball. A few of them went to LSU, which is just a cool experience to be able to play with a different type of people. So my transition from high school to college wasn't exactly the easiest for me because I went to an all-girls high school. So coming from there to college, it was a little different because my high school was pretty laid back. I mean, we were all girls school. So coming here and having like a variety of people was definitely different. Difference from high school athletics to college athletics was honestly very drastic for me, because in high school you had a lot more time for social life and a lot more time for schoolwork and stuff like that. But coming into college, it's definitely different because it's really just school and volleyball. And you really don't have much more time than that. I mean, on weekends you're traveling out of state, and anytime that you have time on the road, you're doing work. And definitely a pro for me for college athletics would be the people that I surround myself with. Like growing up playing volleyball, that's really how I made all my friends. And like even to this day, 3 of my best friends also play volleyball, and I met them through volleyball. But really, I just surround myself with all my teammates, and like my coaches help me with a lot, get me through a lot of stuff with schoolwork and my personal life. And we have a lot of great connections, like through Miss Tambria and stuff like that. I would say a con of college athletics would probably be time, just like time in general, because between volleyball and schoolwork, you don't really have time for much else. And also, missing class whenever you're traveling can kind of put you behind in classes, which sometimes it could be difficult to maybe catch up or do all your work in time for when an assignment is due. If I had advice for someone in high school wanting to play college, I'd probably just tell them to pick a school that's right for you, because that's the most important thing, is putting yourself in the best position going into college, and make sure that you like the people that are there and what the school provides for you and where you fit in with certain programs and stuff like that.
All right, so out here with Deuce Wallace, football player at University of Louisiana. Deuce, what's it been like growing up in this area and being a football player for the Raging Cajuns?
It's been fun because I'm from here, from Lafayette, and went to high school, St. Thomas More, and it's even better more for me because my dad played here back in the '80s. So I want to stay home and kind of carry on that legacy.
So Deuce, how's it been like making the transition from high school to college? As far as sports and the all-around aspect.
The biggest transition, in my opinion, is the time management. High school, I didn't feel like I had to work as hard. Teachers kind of looked out for you a little bit. But college, that's a whole different level, man. It's really everybody's out there for themselves. And then athletic-wise, it's more competition. Nothing's given. You have to earn your spot day in and day out.
So Deuce, what advice would you give to a high school athlete right now who would be coming into, say, a D1 program or any college program at this point?
I would tell them simply be ready to compete, because this is the highest level of athletics, and like I said, nothing is just given to you. And don't be afraid to fail, because a lot of the great ones fail many times.
So Deuce, what are, say, any pros and cons? You're a redshirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say are any pros or cons being a redshirt athlete, whereas a junior in the classroom and a sophomore on the field?
In my opinion, I don't see any cons with redshirting, because my experience, my redshirt year, I was able to learn the system, take time out to really learn that routine with the time management with school involved. And again, just mature in the system, because it's hard. In my opinion, I don't think I could have handled coming in and playing as a true freshman.
I got you. And you talk about learning the system, whereas in high school you're a running back,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're making the turns as a DB. How's that been, as far as transitioning, and you're also changing positions too?
Yeah, that was definitely tough, because running back, you're doing everything going forward, and defensive back, you're doing the exact opposite. I do just about everything backwards. So using that redshirt year, that allowed me to focus on just simple mechanics and tools that I can use to better my game, my craft.
We are here tonight with Miranda, and also we're going to talk about her softball career. Hello, Miranda. How are you?
Hi, good. You?
I'm great.
Good.
So, what made you choose UL as your school to participate softball in?
Softball program for sure was one, and then also the schooling. UL excels in my major, which is graphic design. So, it was pretty good on both ends.
Interesting. So, What was the transition like coming from a small high school up to a huge D1 national championship winning softball team and academic excelling school?
Time management for sure, because it's a lot dealing with practice and then also on top of that schoolwork. So, and I mean, pretty much, yeah, time management. Less time in the day is what it feels like. So,
Oh, for sure, I completely understand. Completely understand. What is a key positive that has happened here that is like gonna stay in your mind for years to come?
all the lessons that Coach Mike has taught me, and then also the relationships I've made on the team and also in the classroom. Yeah.
What are some key negatives you've learned from your experiences here?
Coach Mike getting fired, that for sure was gonna be the biggest negative here at UL. And then also just tearing my knee, some stuff like that, just some ups and downs being here.
Random question, how is the whole coming back from your knee thing? Like, how is the journey of that? Like, how is that?
It was actually a struggle. I think it puts more of a toll on you mentally than it does physically. So as long as you keep, staying headstrong and keep pursuing your dreams and, keep trying to, pursue excellence, then I think you're a step ahead already.
Yeah, for sure. What are some positives and negatives in participating in college softball in general?
I think timing. When you have your classes in the morning and then right after that you have practice, and then right at night you're having to either catch up on homework or, stay after for practice, get better reps. And so I think time would kind of be a negative, but then also the positive, I think, would be the opportunity to come and, enjoy college, able to be experienced or, be open-minded to other people's backgrounds and history, and just, that's really cool. And then also just, the opportunity to play the game you love ever since you were little. So
For sure. What do you plan for, in your future of softball and, your career that you're going to pursue? What do you plan for your future?
I plan to win a national championship. That's one of my plans for softball. And my other plan for my career is to give back and to be a coach in high school for softball, of course, and to teach young women the ways to compete and to fight and to be overall a better woman. So,
if you had any advice to give a first-time freshman softball or just student athlete in general, what would your advice be?
To work hard, and even though things might not go your way, learn from that and to keep growing from it. So that's pretty much to keep working hard.
Thank you for your time. This
Thank
was
you.
Miranda Grogan.